Welcome to lesson number 1 of your Spanish learning journey. And if you are an absolute beginner, this is the perfect place to start because today we focus on building the foundation you need before learning vocabulary, sentences, or grammar. Learning a new language may look difficult, but when you break it into simple, understandable steps, it becomes exciting and achievable. So take a deep breath, relax, and let's begin your very first Spanish lesson in the easiest way possible. Before we dive into the language itself, the first thing you need to understand is that Spanish is a rhythm-based language. English speakers often pronounce words by stressing certain syllables, but Spanish pronunciation is much more consistent. That means once you learn how the letters sound, you can read almost any Spanish word correctly. This is why we begin with sounds, because pronunciation is the foundation of good communication. Spanish vowels are the most important part. They are short, simple, and always sound the same. A is A, E is A, I is E, O is O, and U is U. You don't stretch them, you don't bend them, and you don't change them depending on the word. This is completely different from English, where vowels change in every other word. In Spanish, once you learn these 5 sounds, you can pronounce almost anything. For example, the word amigo means friend. Each vowel keeps its sound, ami, go. Another example is libro, which means book. You read it exactly as it is written, libro. This consistency is one of the reasons why Spanish is considered one of the easiest languages for English speakers to learn. So if you were nervous about pronunciation, now you can already feel more confident. After understanding the sounds, the next step is gaining comfort with basic greetings because greetings give you your first real interaction with the language. They're simple, they're common, and they immediately make you feel like you're speaking Spanish. Buenos means good, and depending on the time of day, you can finish the sentence. Buenos dias means good morning. Buenas tardes means good afternoon. Buenas noches means good night. When you meet someone, you simply say hola, which means hello. Notice the H in Spanish is silent, so it's pronounced hola. If someone says hello back, you can follow with ¿Cómo estás?, which means how are you? And if they ask you the same question, you can answer with simple phrases like bien, which means fine, my bien, meaning very good, or más o menos, meaning okay. These small interactions build confidence, and every time you repeat them, they become automatic. Before you move to long sentences, you need to build a small set of essential words that act like tools. Just like a builder can't start construction without basic tools, a language learner cannot begin forming sentences without essential words. These include sí for yes, no for no, por favor for please, gracias for thank you, perdón for excuse me, and lo siento for I'm sorry. By learning these first, you make communication easier even before you know full sentences. When you combine greetings with these essential words, you already have the ability to express politeness, ask simple questions, and respond in a way that feels natural. Another key element in your first lesson is understanding the importance of immersion. Immersion doesn't mean traveling to a Spanish-speaking country. It means surrounding yourself with the language even from home. You can listen to Spanish music, watch short Spanish videos, change your phone language for a few minutes a day, or follow Spanish-speaking creators. When you hear the language regularly, even when you don't understand everything, your brain starts recognizing patterns. It starts understanding rhythm, tone, and repetition. Immersion helps you learn without forcing yourself to study, and it builds a natural connection to the language. Now that you have greetings, tools, and basic pronunciation, the next part of your beginner journey is to understand the concept of gender in Spanish nouns. In English, nouns don't have gender, but in Spanish, every noun is either masculine or feminine. Words ending with O are usually masculine, and words ending with A are usually feminine. For example, el libro means the book, and la mesa means the table. El is the masculine word for the, and la is the feminine word for the. This idea may feel new, but with practice, it becomes completely natural. You don't need to memorize long lists right now. Just knowing that nouns have gender will help you when you begin forming sentences later. Verb basics are also important in your first lesson, but don't worry. We're not going into complicated conjugations. The simple idea you should understand is that infinitive verbs are the base form of Spanish verbs. They end in r, or Hablar means to speak, comer means to eat, and vivir means to live. Just knowing these forms helps you recognize verbs in sentences even before you learn how to conjugate them. Later, when you learn beginner's phrases, you'll understand that quiro hablar means I want to speak, quiro comer means I want to eat, and quiro vivir means I want to live. For now, the goal is to become familiar with the idea that verbs have a base form that ends in r, or The next important part of your beginner lesson is learning how Spanish sentences are built. The good news is Spanish sentence structure is often very similar to English. For example, I speak Spanish translates to yo hablo español. Yo means I, hablo means speak, and español means Spanish. Another example, you want water, becomes tú quieres agua. Tú means you, quieres means want, and agua means water. This similarity in structure makes it much easier to begin forming sentences even at the beginner level. You don't need to memorize long grammar rules right now, but just understanding that Spanish sentences can follow the same pattern as English will make each future lesson much easier. Something that many beginners overlook, but is extremely important, is listening. Listening is a skill that builds understanding even when you don't know all the words. In the beginning, your brain listens to the sounds and rhythm, and even if you understand only one or two words, that's completely normal. In fact, it's a sign of progress. You can listen to slow Spanish learning audios, beginner podcasts, children's stories, or simple dialogues. Listening will train your ear and help you recognize the difference between similar words. The more you listen, the easier it becomes to speak. So don't worry if you can't understand everything at first. It's part of the process. Now let's move on to your first real conversational ability, introducing yourself. This is one of the most empowering parts of learning a new language because it allows you to talk about yourself. Saying your name in Spanish is simple. You say me llamo followed by your name. For example, me llamo John means my name is John. You can also say soy followed by your name, like soy Maria. Both are correct. To say where you are from, you say soy de followed by your country or city. For example, soy de Pakistan or soy de New York. These basic introductions help you begin conversations, connect with others, and practice using simple structures. Numbers are another essential beginner element. Even though you don't need to memorize every number on day one, learning the first 10 helps you understand pronunciation and builds confidence. Uno, dos, tres, cuatro, cinco, seis, siete, ocho, nueve, diez. These numbers appear everywhere: prices, dates, time, and everyday situations. Memorizing them early is incredibly helpful. Later, you will learn how to count higher, but for now, the first 10 set the groundwork. After building all these basics, it's important to talk about mindset. Learning Spanish is not about perfection, it's about progress. Mistakes are part of learning, and every time you use a word incorrectly or forget how to say something, you are building your ability to improve. Consistency is more important than studying for long hours. Even 10 minutes a day can lead to huge progress if you stay consistent. Learning a language is like building a habit. The more you practice, the stronger your understanding becomes. Another helpful tip for beginners is to create your own personal vocabulary list. Start with words that matter to you. If you love food, learn food words first. If you enjoy travel, learn travel words first. When you learn vocabulary that connects to your life, it becomes easier to remember. You can also label objects in your room with Spanish names. For example, put a small paper on your door that says puerta or on your bed that says cama. These small reminders help your brain make daily connections with the language without studying. Along with vocabulary, practicing simple phrases is a great way to build speaking confidence. Phrases like "Donde está," meaning where is, "Cuánto cuesta," meaning how much does it cost, and "Necesito ayuda," meaning I need help, are extremely useful in daily conversation. These small phrases make you feel like you can already communicate basic needs, and that motivation keeps you moving forward. You don't need to memorize long sentences or perfect grammar at the start. Focus on short, powerful phrases that give you immediate communication ability. Another important part of your first lesson is learning how Spanish culture and mindset influence the language. Spanish is warm, expressive, and full of emotion. When someone says hola, it often comes with a smile. When people talk, they use body language, hand gestures, and tone. Understanding this cultural warmth helps you express the language naturally. You're not just learning words, you're learning a style of communication. When you understand this, speaking becomes more fun and less stressful. Finally, your beginner journey starts with building confidence, and the best way to build confidence is through repetition. Repeat greetings every day. Repeat numbers. Repeat basic phrases. Repeat your introductions. The first lesson is about building the foundation, not rushing, not memorizing everything, but becoming familiar with the language step by step. Repetition makes Spanish feel natural, and the more you repeat, the easier everything becomes.